Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
Hello, we're going to talk about Hong Kong today, if you want to go ahead there.
Yes, Hong Kong. Hong Kong was in the news there for the last number of years, and people were wanted democracy, and they seemed to be under attack by the people that was running the colony, former British colony, running it, very successful worldwide, running it, and. But then it handed over to Communist China, and they said it'd leave it independent because it was a great money earner. But now, with the people that was objecting to the attack on the democracy in that country, the Chinese now have stepped up their control, the same as having China, same as they have in their own country, and they're under attack there in that country because people with the COVID were objecting to this lockdown and they couldn't contain it, so they've relaxed. Apparently, there's a crack in their system, and quite frankly, they've jailed. This man, Jimmy Lai, he was, now by the way, the world over, which is 26 years gone and run by a chap called Raymond Arroyo on EWTN, and one of the thing when he was started by Mother Angelica, when he was given the task, speak the truth, and he has followed that for 20, and he's pretty good. He often appears on other TV programmes, not just EWTN, and he's written books. He's good, and but he's made 3 people persons of the year. One of them was Cardinal Zen, who tried to meet Pope Francis because this secret deal that the Vatican under Pope Francis did with China. It's been criticised by a lot of people, even in China, because you had the underground church there that had some freedom, but the Vatican under Pope Francis made a secret deal, which is always, secret deals are always suspect. Everything should be out in the open. And Cardinal Zen went to Rome to try and influence that, but he wasn't granted an interview. I think he was treated to a meal, but his concerns weren't dealt with. And he has spoken against it. But now the communists have had arrested him there recently, and now they've fined him quite an amount of money, which he won't pay. He's 90 years of age, but still articulate, and condemns the Vatican for this secret deal. He's been made Man of the Year by Person of the Year by the world over, which is a very successful programme. Comes out every week on EWTN and it's syndicated around the world. It's a marvellous programme, and I see it every Friday. It's usually on for an hour from 8 to 9. It's marvellous. Now, so Raymond Arroyo has made Cardinal Zen, and also then Jimmy Lai, Lui, he'd be from Hong Kong, but he was a publisher of the Hong Kong Times, a very popular paper in Hong Kong and other parts of the world. But he's been jailed by the communists because of his support for democracy. And of course, when you're jailed by the Chinese, we don't know what way they're treated in these jails, because the communists are not known for humane treatment. And so there's been he's been made Jimmy Lai a Catholic convert, and funny enough has a British passport, and the British have been criticised roundly by people concerned about this publisher and whose paper has been closed, and he's in jail with communist China, and his life could be in danger. And Cardinal Zen probably wind up in jail 90 years of age. So this is what the communists do. They're control freaks. I think there's a crack in the country there with all the people around the country that objected to the COVID lockdowns and the way they were arrested and treated and sometimes killed. So, and locked in their houses and not able to get out. So they were nearly going mad. So now there've been protests all around the country, and the Chinese now have eased up on this COVID business. There's a crack in their system. The same as in Iran. The people objected. There was a girl killed by these police, these moral police that are a scourge in the country. These young people have been demonstrations. So they have disbanded the moral police, but a little bit too little, too late. I think that there's going to be changes there. You can't run a country the way they run it, this autocratic, evil way, and exporting evil in other parts with terrorists and so on and so forth. Hezbollah in Lebanon are terrorists and they support them, and other ones in other countries. So their influence is bad, the same as any dictatorship. North Korea being another example. They're dangerous, and no one should make any deals with people of that calibre. And it's very ill-advised for the Vatican to have made any secret agreement with them about the Catholics in that country, and that because the communists don't allow churches to operate freely the way they can in other countries. They're control freaks and dangerous, and nobody should ever make any deal with them in any shape, way or form, in my opinion. So that's the story about Cardinal Zen. He's Person of the Year by the world over, by Raymond Royo, and also Jimmy Loy, and then some other one in America that I didn't know much about, but I certainly know about Cardinal Zen and Jimmy Lui, L-U-I or something, Loy or Lou or whatever it is. He's in jail, so at least these are highlighted, and to give them their due in EWTN, they also criticised the idea that Nigeria has been taken off the dangerous list, persecuted Catholics, which they are doing. There've been more than there, apparently thousands of them every year. So I mean, by these Muslim extremists, Boko Haram they're called, they shouldn't be allowed to do it. But then we have in that Nigeria, we have the government who looks to be Muslims to me, as far as I can see. So they're coming under criticism, and rightly so. But the Democrats in America have gone this green energy as well, and they've been criticised roundly in that country. Maybe not by our crowd here, because the truth seems to escape them.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you very much, Oliver.